Good evening and welcome back to the channel. I'm Andres from Hydro-Quail Farm, just sharing some tips. Um, if you are interested in Coturnix Quail and making a small business and a small profit, you're in the right place. So a question I get asked a lot is how much money can you actually make from quail? Yeah, we always talk numbers and yeah, I want to just put some reality behind it. Okay, I'm going to work on 100 birds. Let's assume we have 100 mature laying Jumbo Coturnix Quail. Now I want to make something clear. You can't work off 100% laying rate because you're never going to get that. You're going to get close, but you're never going to get actually to the 100% laying rate. Every single quail laying an egg every single day. Remember, the cycle is 26 hours for them to produce an egg. But things happen, nature happens. So every single bird won't lay an egg every single day. So we're gonna work on an 80% laying rate today, and then work out some numbers according to that. Yeah, so yeah, a hen doesn't lay an egg every single day. They do skip sometimes from time to time. Okay, so 100 birds times 80% laying rate equals 80%, 80 eggs. And then 80 eggs on a 6-day period is 480 eggs per week. That's on 100 birds. And I've only worked out on 6 days. You might be wondering why. The reason why I work it on 6 days is because the 7th day I usually use to test my eggs, and then, but we'll get into that in a future video. What do I do with day 7's eggs? Exactly, so you're gonna. So you can't expect from having 100 birds you're gonna have 700 eggs a week, which is not gonna happen. So on 80 eggs in a 6 days is 480 eggs per week that you are able to sell or hatch or whatever the case might be. But this video I'm concentrating on sell eggs to be sold. So yeah, just bear with me. I am working from a script because I can't remember every single figure and every single thing. It's a bit difficult, but yeah, let's work through it. Okay, so now we've established we can get 480 eggs from 100 hens in 6 days. So if you sell 480 eggs, for example 250 each, that's 1,200 rand per week. So at 250, 480 eggs gives you about 1,200 potential weekly sales. That's about a 4,800 rand in a 4-week period. Yeah, so but bear in mind, you have to calculate the costs. That's not clean profit. So that 4,800 rand, I'm gonna go through every step, what has to be deducted, what has to go off, but let's go through it slowly by slowly, and then we see. Okay, so that is revenue, it's not profit. There's a major difference between revenue and profit of the actual sales. So I'm gonna explain to you step by step what has to be done. So we take our food. Our food is the highest cost of all. So if we take our cost, our electricity, our water, vitamins and minerals, cleaning, packaging, all of that has to be deducted from your total cost. So for 100 birds, I use about a bag of food, 50 kg a bag of food in about 2 weeks. So that's 580. So yeah, you must work it in. I'm going to use 2 bags a month. So then your electricity, how much electricity do you use for your birds, artificial lighting, whatever the case might be, your water. If you don't have a bowl or natural spring water, it's gonna be a bit costly to you. Then the bedding, what you use for bedding, have to be calculated in. So all these expenses has to be worked into your main. Say for a 6-day period, you made 1,200 rand. So now about that 270 rand has to be deducted from for the food. Say your electricity, water, vitamins, that's another 120 to 200 rand. And then your packaging is not cheap, depending on how you do it. There's multiple ways of doing it. I'm only doing one way with people that have been supporting me for a time now, buying eggs from me. If you buy local, I'll sell them to you in a nice plastic tray, which you can handle by yourself and make sure it's alright. But if I ship it far away, then I pack my eggs in sponges. I will still, in the future, I'll explain to you how I do it. I make nice sponge hole saws. That's for sale if you would want one. Then you cut your holes into the sponge, pack them nicely, your eggs are secured, and you send it like that. So yeah, we have to work in all that stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a rough calculation just now, and then I'll give you the reality of the whole situation. Okay, sorry, I'm back. So I just worked out the expenses more or less on 100 birds per week. So on a weekly basis, the food, if I take it at about 280 rand, the shipping expenses, that's your packaging, your fuel, your boxes, everything for the eggs you're gonna sell. It's about 200 rand. The vitamins and minerals, it's about 40 rand for a week. Then 100 rand about on electricity for a week. That's if you're not hatching yourself. That adds up to about 620 rand. So if you minus that from your 1,200 rand, you're gonna have about 580 rand profit. So that's not that's excluding replacing your breeding stock, because you're gonna have to replace them at some point, which is very important. I need to get back to that factor in a little bit, and then yeah. Okay, so the important thing is, don't only sell hatching eggs, or don't only sell eating eggs. There's a whole variety you can do. You can sell table eggs, you can sell hatching eggs, you can sell baby chicks, you can sell young quail 3 weeks old. But we'll get to the live birds in a next video. I first want to speak about the eggs. So in the market for eggs, you don't need to sell hatching eggs. You can sell eggs for table eggs. What you can do is you can pickle eggs and sell the pickle eggs. There's such a big market for it. I sell both the hatching and eating table eggs, which is your market is just a bit more open regarding that. If 1 week goes by, the people doesn't buy hatching eggs so much, then you've got the market to fall back to go to table eggs. Yeah, and if you want to, you can make small jars of pickle eggs. I love a curry pickle egg. I'll still show you in a upcoming video how to make it. How it just tastes phenomenal. At the moment, I don't sell pickle eggs to the public. If you do get from me, you can consider yourself lucky, because it doesn't usually happen. So guys, yeah, don't hide the reality of costs. Now you work out, you go and work out 100% laying rate at 100% selling rate, which is not gonna happen. You have to be open-minded about it. Your management has to be up to par. You can't go chopping and changing of food all the time because they will stop laying. You'll lose 2 weeks, if not more. So if you want a food, don't go and chop and change it regularly because your egg production is gonna drop. Don't disturb in your cages because your egg production is gonna drop. Like I do every night between 7 and 8, I will go collect all my eggs. So I'm in the cage for 1 hour because I've got a lot of eggs to collect, and then I leave them again. I've got artificial lighting. It's not usually this bright, it's just because I'm making a video inside this specific facility. I am gonna make videos in my other facilities as well, so you guys can have a sneak peek on what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah, so don't forget the reality of the 80%. Work on the 80% laying rate because you're gonna get a storm. They're gonna stop laying for a while. You're gonna get changes. They have to mold. Remember, they're not machines. You can work them like that, but that's just not humane. I like to give my birds a proper mold. I like to give them a rest. I'm not on top of them the whole time to give me full out production. And my birds are doing quite well. They just come out of the mold, they started laying. I'm having some good eggs. So yeah, but after something like that, like a mold or something, what you must do, it's a must. Like what I've done is the first week they started laying, I put the eggs in the incubator. I put 20 eggs in the incubator. That was all the eggs I had for the week. Only 6 of them hatched. So that just shows me I can't sell the eggs just as yet. But I did candle them, so I took away the ones I saw that's not gonna hatch, so I don't waste any time. The second week it went up to 50%. I'm on the third week now to see how they are. So yeah, guys, you have to consider nature. You have to consider cost. If you don't pay for electricity, it's a bonus for you. If you get food very cheap, it's a bonus for you. My quail only get the best food, so I don't go around testing and testing and testing. Last year, no, it was this year, I started making my own food, which works quite well for me. I have sold some of it to the public, but yeah, I'm not gonna sell it to the public just yet. It's still in the testing phase. I want to test it about 2 years before I commit to it. I want to make sure everything is right on the protein and the additives I put into the food. But so far it's been showing me great results. One thing I want to touch on is, I just touched on it barely now. When you go into winter or cold months, you have to consider your birds are gonna not lay 100% anymore. So you have to budget for that. You're gonna have to budget for the food, because one thing I've seen quite a couple of times is people, they go big, they supply 3-4 months fully. Their birds go into the winter mode, what I call winter mode. Then the production drops, then they can't afford the feed anymore because they were relying on the quail. And in the meantime, while production was high, they didn't consider the low months. So that's one thing I want to plead with you is please consider the low months. They're gonna stop. Remember, a quail lays 300 to 320 eggs a year if the management is good. But they still that 60 days they're not laying. You must consider for that about 2 months. You have to support them out of your own. So I would suggest on the good months, save up for the bad months. When the bad months hit, you can still go forward into the next season without an issue. So winter production does drop. It does drop sometimes significantly. Mine has dropped, like I said, to what, 14, 20 eggs a day, which is not ideal. Especially if you've got a big operation, it's gonna drag you down. It's gonna make you wanna leave, wanna sell. But at the end of the day, you've invested so much into it, you're gonna sell at a loss unless you're gonna get a good buyer for them. Yeah, let's continue. Okay, another thing I wanna touch on is I work on a payment secure order basis. It's not because I'm greedy or something. It's because I show away other clients because you said you're gonna pay me Friday for X amount of eggs. I show away other clients, and then Friday comes, Friday goes, and then I sit with the eggs. And then my client already got somebody else to supply him, and then I don't have any way to go with the eggs. But I do because I've got other ways, routes to move. But still, that's why I'm asking to secure your order to pay. Yeah, usually I ask for a 7 to 14 day lead time. It's not saying your eggs is going to be 14 days old. It's because I've got a current order I'm filling up, and then as soon as I'm finished with that order, then I go to yours. Yeah, sometimes people order 5,000, 10,000 eggs a week, and then I have to supply. So that's the reason I've got a 7 to 10 day lead time, 7 to 14 day lead time on the eggs. Just read your invoice. If you get an invoice, what's the lead time? Sometimes I don't have an order, you first in line. Sometimes I've got 2 orders, you third in line. That's why I put a lead time on my orders. So yeah, I won't go in and tell somebody buy 100 quail, you'll make 10,000 rand a month, that's guaranteed. That's just not realistic. Farming doesn't work that way. Any kind of farming, you can't count your chickens before they've hatched. You have to make sure of your facts before you go into it. One thing I must to say is eggs. When you collect eggs, you always find an egg that's cracked or bumped or something. Like I say, it's nature. Things happen. You can't prevent everything from happening. None of us can. So you have to calculate for that small misfortunes to happen. So to come back to my conclusion, can 100 quail, Jumbo Coturnix quail, make you money? Yes, it can. But management, if your management is right, you will reach it. If not, you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna run into losses. You're gonna wanna leave the quail. If you need advice, ask. I'm always willing to help. Sometimes I speak day and night with some of my clients. The thing is, I like to help. Other people don't like to help. Other people won't get out of bed to come and see a problem by you, or talk to you over the phone if there's a problem, or if the babies are dying, to assist. I will always assist if I can, if it's in my ability. So yeah guys, that concludes my video on can 100 Coturnix quail make money. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, like the video. If you want to follow through more advice, more tips, more tricks, I'm still going to give a lot. I'm going to show you how to sort your birds to put the best possible adult stock into your brooders, then into your caging systems, or however the caging system might be. So there's a lot of advice coming, so please like, subscribe to the video, show a thumbs up. Thanks.